What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunch with Clydesdale. Glad to be spending lunch with you all. Been watching the Arnold Strongwoman competition this morning, as Corey's been talking about in the chat. And I didn't really have this on the agenda, but we saw something pretty amazing at the end of the women's deadlift. And so I give you a world record attempt at 671 pounds.
Some of your top lifts are going to do that. You know, you get a little, your body kind of gets a little chatter. Well, then it brings it out in that bar even more. Right. And then it just kind of, you can see where it just started whipping her, and then it pops her hips out, and then you're out of the lift.
It pulls you down, that's it.
Yeah. It will just yank you forward.
The Arnold is going on here in Columbus all weekend long. I used to be a part of this as part of their security team for the bodybuilders. And haven't been back in a few years, but man, they have expanded the strongman, strongwoman area. It is more seating and it is packed today. So here we go. World record attempt. 600.
We're down to our final two women.
1 pound.
Andrea Thompson and Lucy Underdown. World record weight on the bar right now at 671 pounds, and this is just her second of 3 attempts.
Oh, let's go.
This is incredible.
Let's go, Andrea.
Let's go, Andrea. Come on.
Let's see this.
Corey Leonard, yes, I have hip check Ric Flair doing security at the Arnold. Then I stood over him and went, woo!
Come on. Let's see. Look at this crowd getting up. Look at this crowd is all went to their feet right now.
And a new world record.
They want to see it. Come on, Andrea.
Everyone on their feet here.
Oh, yeah. This crowd.
Look at this. This packed
thousands
house.
of people packed.
All on their feet. Cell phones in their hands. They want to see it. Come on, Andrea. Make it happen.
That is freaking massive.
Let's go.
Thompson for the record.
Come on.
Dig in.
Let's go.
Big fight here. Come on. Big push.
There we go.
Oh, easy.
Andrea Thompson, a new world record at
Lock it out.
671 pounds. Strap in. This is going to get really good.
Game on. Let's go.
How about that? 671 pounds, new world record at the Arnold Strong Woman competition this morning. The men are about to take the floor in a few minutes. But dang, what the heck? It's funny because back in the day, I watched this with the men, and it used to be in the vendor area, just in the back of the vendor area, and it was kind of like a few seats and then standing room only. Now it has its own dedicated area, and it's probably got 5 times the crowd. And this is for the women, not even the men, and it is packed. Packed. Okay. Corey says actually right here. I'm going to pause it. I was still running on the next person actually attempts 5 more pounds than she did. So let's take a look at that. £676, which then would be a brand new world record. Oh my goodness. And now another new world record. 676 pounds. Damn. I have never lifted anywhere near that much. My back hurts just watching this. Good gravy. What an amazing performance from the strong women at the Arnold. Just powerful, strong women. Damn. And the crowd is just electric. Electric. And Corey says the knurling on the bar was so new it messed up her strap. I hate lifting with straps. I really do. But I know they do it through this all the time. But with that much weight, I guess you'd need your grip strength just couldn't handle. And I know the men are going like even bigger. So that is amazing. That is amazing. 676 pounds. Insane. So yeah, that's the kickoff of the Arnold today. Again, the men will be going in a little bit. And I believe that Thor Bjornsson is going for the world record today in this deadlift. So we will see that maybe later today. So pretty awesome stuff. If you think about this, in the 2016 games where they went back to the ranch and they did the deadlift ladder, it ended for the men at 600 pounds. And Sam Dancer struggled with that 600 about as much as she did with 676. Now I know she is more of a specialist. However, Sam's pretty damn strong. And just in comparison, how crazy that is. So, yeah. So what did you guys think about the open announcement yesterday? It was at Mayhem. It was very nostalgic. I really thought that they did a good job with the community. High-fiving the community as they came out, letting these athletes who work out at Mayhem get to be with their community during that event. I think that is what needs to start being showcased more than just the athletes. And then I will admit, Mayhem like put on a great show. I've been to 2 open announcements myself. I was at both at Rogue. And I felt like this, and they were both very, very exciting. 2000, I was there for Christy and Carrie Pierce doing, I want to say 18.1, 18.2, maybe one of those. And then I was there for Laura Horvat and Emma Lawson and Saxon Panchik and Justin Medeiros for 22 point something, maybe. So I really enjoyed this one. I thought that was the one yesterday. They did a great job in highlighting the community, highlighting the people, getting the crowd involved. And then with Rich jumping in on the workout, as cheesy as it could seem, and the Rocky Balboa shorts, I was in 100% for all of it. I love Rich. I'm a big Rich fan. I've been critical about Mayhem being too involved in this year's games, but in the moment, in the hype, I wanted all of it. I wanted the Balboa shorts. I wanted him to rip off his shirt. I wanted all that stuff. And then currently he's sitting 7th on the leaderboard, which is pretty damn impressive for a Masters athlete. I hear you guys on the sound. The sound was, my sound was okay. I know I was talking to Charlie yesterday. His was horrible. So I think depending on what you were listening to or through, it was better or worse. But yeah, I get it. The sound was not great. But if they could get that nailed in, The bar is set high for next week in Arizona. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. Hopefully they take a note and make it very community driven. And I think that's the way to go with this going forward. Corey says Rocky Balboa short sales are up 300%. I know when I was watching the post show with Mayhem, they're looking into sourcing those shorts because the demand was pretty high. And it did have a Mayhem logo on it. So I think they're going to try to do that. Aaron Frazier says Rich needs to be the face of CrossFit. He needs a role at HQ. Well, I think whether he wants to be or not, I think he is. Anytime he gets involved, he becomes the face of CrossFit. The man has done everything from affiliate ownership to a media team to being an athlete in every aspect of the games. All of that, I think he is a person that needs to be involved for sure. What that role is, I don't know. But I do think he needs to have some say. And it seems like he is kind of poking around the rumors, or he's slightly around the rumors of everything going on. So who knows? We may get our wish when the next group comes in to buy, that he is a part of that. Train to Live, love the announcement. Would have loved another elite female going with Haley. Yeah, we talked about that Sunday night on. Carolyn was very adamant about that we need to have elite males and females at every announcement. But I do agree, Haley kind of got lost in a shuffle because of the race between the three men. She just kind of became an afterthought. And I think if she would have been able to race another female, that would have been something to watch, and then given more highlight to that. And then it tells us like what an elite female is capable of in this workout. And then like this week, we're getting 2 females and no males. So we won't have any male perspective on this week's workout. And I think Carolyn said that very eloquently on Sunday night's show about that, you know, it's good to see what the elite athletes can do and kind of where you are. Back to the Rich topic. He's one of the few who understand that what CrossFit and the community has given to him and is doing what he can to give back. God bless the man. I hear this a lot, like what CrossFit has given you and that you need to give back. I don't necessarily agree with all that. There are opportunities out there for everybody, and he took advantage of those opportunities. And then he himself built a business with a good business plan. It wasn't because he owed CrossFit anything. It's because he loved what it was. He loved the methodology. He took advantage of that opportunity, and he moved forward with that. I'm kind of one of these people, like, the world doesn't owe us anything. You know, you take advantage of opportunities where you can, but we're not owed anything. And maybe I'm in the minority on this, but I do agree with you that he is the right person for the job because he did take advantage of those opportunities. He saw what it could do for him, not only as an athlete, but as a business owner. And he took advantage of those opportunities, and he aligned himself with the methodology, and he believes it works, and he's pushing it forward. And I think that's why he's the right person for the job. I do get all of that. I get it, but I'm not in agreement that just because you were successful that you owe something back. That's all. And I agree. He didn't forget where he came from. He didn't forget how he came up through the system, and that's why he's successful. But he's not owed. He doesn't owe that back to anybody. He just took advantage of his opportunities. That's all I'm saying. He has taken advantage of even more opportunities because he understands what it did for him. Just not the owing thing is a term that I don't agree with. Craig asked, how much involvement did Froning Sr. have in the development of Mayhem Nation? I don't think, other than he is the resident fix-it man, I think that's it. I think it was Rich and Darren kind of putting it all together, along with some of his very close friends, that built Mayhem to what it is today. I do agree with this. I don't think he does not think he's bigger than the sport. I think he isn't bigger than the methodology either. That's a key. Rich knows the community is more important than the sport. I do agree with you on this, Andrew. Completely. Train to Live. I think what's most impressive is that Rich did what we did when other athletes weren't all about it for the money, sponsorship, etc. And he continues to build. Well, and even he said it himself, like, and I think maybe it was him or Facundo on Coffee Pods and Wads, who said, like, it's okay to want to make money. It's okay to want to make money. And we've got to get away from this, that we're like being brutal towards people about wanting to make money. Affiliates have to make money to survive. HQ has to make money to survive. The athletes want to make money because people come watch them. All that is fine, but you have to do it with the right mindset. So I really thoroughly enjoyed yesterday a lot. But another thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to pull this up real quick. I was looking at the leaderboard today, and one of my other favorite athletes popped out to me when I was looking at the leaderboard. And really, I was doing this because Hiller put out a video of George Sterner doing his open workout, which, if you haven't seen, is hilarious. There's a guy in a gym just kind of walking around him as he's doing the open workout, like just kind of staring at him. And it's just insanity. And really, really funny. So go check that out if you have a few minutes. It's really, really short. So anyway, I was looking at the leaderboards this morning because of that to see if George was still number one. And I went over to the women's, and who's number one on the women's side? Kristen Holta, and she put up a score of 340. I think that's like second on the men's leaderboard. That beats Hatfield score, Taylor Self, all of them. Dang, she's what, 37, 38 at this point, and she's still like just knocking it out. She is one of the most impressive athletes I've ever met, ever got a chance to speak to. Kristen is freaking awesome. And the fact that every year in her retirement, she goes in, does the open, and kills it every single year, it just blows me away and is so impressive. So impressive. And it goes back to, if you were watching yesterday's announcement right before, they showed this video that I talked about a few weeks ago with Becca Voigt talking about how the your CrossFit career should never be done. And that she hopes that someday she is doing the 70 plus division. And the reason she goes to the games every year is because that's just what she's always done. And there are things that she can't do today that she could do years ago, but she's still going in, training it, doing all this stuff, and then putting her scores out there in the open, because that's what she does. And she coaches every day, and she owns an affiliate. Like Becca Voigt's another one that is very much like Rich on the female side. Affiliate owner, has expanded her gym tremendously over the years, has been to the game 16 times. And she is freaking phenomenal. If you did not see the video before yesterday's announcement, they showed it twice. It's out on YouTube. It is awesome. And Corey's right. She did say, I do not plan on stopping competing anytime soon. And she talks about being right across in the corral from the 70 plus athletes and them saying, we're so glad we get to come and show people what our bodies can do at 70 plus years old through the magic of CrossFit. And she said that's the stuff that inspires her to keep going and keep doing it. So yeah, I think Rich is awesome, but there are a lot of people in this space that have done very similar things to Rich. He just won the games 4 times as an individual and 6 times as a team. Becca Voigt has been to the game 16 times. She's an affiliate owner. She's a coach. She lives and breathes what she preaches. And it's beautiful to watch. And she's one of the kindest human beings you will ever meet. So yeah, if you didn't check that out, please check that out. But yeah, Kristen Holta killing it in the first workout of the Open. Any thoughts about the workout itself? I had Train to Live. I think Jamie is going to crush this workout too. I think both of my co-hosts from Sunday night will crush this workout. This is right down both of their wheelhouses. And I cannot wait to see what they do this week. I think Jamie will be able to go dark longer because of her endurance. And Carolyn is an absolute burpee beast, and her lunges are so fast. And that dumbbell is not going to slow Carolyn down at all. So I think both of them are going to crush it. I would actually put a little bit of money on Carolyn beating Jamie. But I think it's going to be close, like super close. I'm going to reach out to them and see if they're both going to video it. And maybe on Sunday night, we can do a side-by-side of how it goes and let them talk about like where it got tough for them, what they were thinking in these moments. But Carolyn is super secretive about her score until close. So I don't know if we'll get that from her, but I think if I were to pick a workout for them to be evenly matched, it would be this one. So that's going to be interesting. Train to Live says, should we make bets on their reps? I think both are over 3. But I don't know how far over 3 they would be. Yeah. Kenneth says 36. You think 336 or you think round of 36? I would think they're both going to be 320 to 330, somewhere in there. Oh, I don't think round of 36. That would be insanity. What? Austin, Taylor, Rich made it to the round of 30 to get another round of 33 and then a round of 36. I don't know. Yeah, Train to Live and I are in the same ballpark. I said 320 to 330. He says 315 to 330. Or she. I'm sorry, Train to Live. I don't know. It's hard to see in your profile. So I apologize if I misgendered you. Yeah, but I think right in the same ballpark. But yeah, I'll talk to them today and see if they're willing to videotape, and we could do a side by side with them talking about it. I'm kind of with Jody Lynn. Please, dear God, don't let me get to the round of 33. Yeah. Well, I'm telling you right now, I have not pushed intensity that hard this winter, so I'm just hoping to survive. This is definitely not a Clydesdale workout for sure. For sure. But I think it's a good workout. I think it's a good test for the opening part of the weekend. It's a good high rep, high volume workout that should separate itself enough on the leaderboard. I'm with you, Slater. Slow and steady, that's for sure. Yep. That's where we're going. Slow and steady. The dumbbell for me is not going to be hard because I am now 55. So the RX is 35. And that should be pretty easy. It's the burpees that are just going to wreck the hell out of me. So yeah, there's all that. Craig says it canceled out some of the open workout repeat predictions. Yeah, big time. Corey getting inside baseball information. Jamie just told me she's usually right around where Rich is, so that's what she's aiming for. I wish once in my life I could say that I was right around where Rich was. Just one time. Just once in my life. Yeah. So on another note, away from CrossFit, I know so many of you have been waiting for this news, but today is the day that we found out if we were going back to the office or not. If we were in the first phase, our governor signed an executive order sending all state employees back to the office, but there were some exceptions, and one of those being that if you no longer have a building due to cost savings, you could be exempt. My building their lease was not renewed, so I had a chance to make the exception, and I did. I made the exception in the first phase, so I am not going back to work going back to the office in the first phase of this return to office initiative. So I've staved off returning to the office for a couple more months, probably, until there is another budget that can allocate money to get another building or something like that. So again, they have to have the money to do it. And that's been the problem all along is our governor touted all the cost savings by getting rid of these buildings. And now to get the people back into the office, they have to rent out or buy buildings. And it would be very, very, very hard to do that under the current budget constraints. So Jody says it would be hard to pod at a government building. It's funny you say that because I actually had made plans on how I would do it. And if the weather was nice, I could just go outside. The building they're in right now is downtown Columbus, right across the street from the state capitol. And the state capitol has a beautiful outdoor lawn. And I was just going to go down and sit in the state house lawn and I was going to purchase an iPad to be able to run the show from and do it right there live on the State House lawn for my lunch with the Clydesdales. But thankfully, I don't have to do that yet. And if I do go back, maybe I am in a different building that's not downtown and maybe has some convenient ways for me to go out to lunch and do the show real quick. So we will see. But I had made plans to keep it going. But right now I just don't have to implement them at this time. So I don't know if you guys heard, but at the NFL scouting combine, 2 media members got into a fight at a Starbucks. And the funniest, and they both were NFL insiders, meaning the guys who kind of get wind of the information that is happening, like a trade or a signing, and they break the news to Twitter or to ESPN or to Fox or whatever. One of these reporters is actually the son of the owner of Starbucks. The other one is a longtime NFL insider. The son of the Starbucks owner was releasing information about a player, and the other guy was refuting it as soon as he released it. They get to a Starbucks and I guess have a heated exchange in the middle of this Starbucks because the guy is refuting his stories back and forth. And it comes to blows to a point where NFL security had to be called and they're doing an investigation. Why I find this funny is in the CrossFit media space, while I don't think anything has ever come to blows, there has been stuff like this behind the scenes that just crack me up. And I am not exempt from being a part of it. I am sometimes quick to temper, and I don't always show this on this show, but like when people mess with me or my people, I get really pissy. And there's one person in particular, man, that every time I take anybody female with me to an event, they treat the females like shit. And it really pisses me off. And when that person gets preferential treatment or gets extra stuff, I just get livid and I start going off on people. And so it was amusing to me to see that in the NFL, this big, massive media market, this big, massive sport, they go into these, they get into these tussles at a local Starbucks, to the point where NFL security had to be involved. I thought it was hilarious. No punches were thrown, nothing like that, but heated exchange for sure. And the one guy was like the son of the owner of Starbucks is 6'4". The other guy's like 5'5". So it wasn't even going to be like a fair fight. It was, and that would be kind of similar to what would happen at a CrossFit thing with me, because the person I always get pissed at is way smaller than me. But nobody can get under my skin faster than this person. And I know there's been like public stuff around the media in CrossFit with like the Savant podcast and Talking Elite Fitness and Morning Chalk Up and, everybody, the Spin, all that stuff. There's all this kind of back and forth stuff. Brian Friend and Hiller. There's always these like things, but there's more behind the scenes that people don't have a clue about. And it's really, really hilarious. And it's actually probably gotten to the point where this year I'm re-examining what it is of what kind of content I should be putting out. And do I need to go fight those fights, or do I just need to move on to something different? So it's upsetting because like I was the first guy at semifinals to interview athletes as they came off the floor, other than like whoever the broadcast had hired to do it from the stream, right? I'm the one in the dark hallway interviewing Rebecca Fuselier or Ariel Lowen or Christy Aramo or Justin Medeiros and throwing those up on Instagram as soon as I can. I did it at Syndicate Crown. I did it at Granite Games. I did it at West Coast Classic. I was doing that like before anybody was doing that. And now like everybody's doing it. And now it's like this, like fight to get this person or that person. And people feeling that they're entitled to get this person over you or whatever. And when I've taken like either Jamie or Kat or Cheryl with me to those events, and they're treated like crap every time they try to get an interview, it just really freaking upsets me. And it's made me, and I think that I am going to do things differently this year. I think I'm going to focus more on a story or a couple stories and follow them through the year, as opposed to just going and doing like a blanket cover the whole event type thing. We'll still do our like live updates from places or update from semifinal events throughout the weekend. But I think that the way we cover it from a live perspective is going to be a little bit different this year. And I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be new and fresh. Because I don't want to just keep doing what everybody else is doing, even though I'm the one that started it. So exactly, Kenneth. Exactly. More concentrated instead of a shotgun blast. Exactly. Plus, like, we don't have the sponsorship money we've had in the past either. So it's just smarter to do that as well. Helson Albernez says, Scott, are you in Chicago? I'm planning on doing a road trip to Green Bay next season, but I want to stop in Chicago to see Soldier Field and maybe drop in a gym and hit a workout. I am not in Chicago. I am a Chicago Bears fan, but I actually live in Columbus, Ohio. So I would be here if you dropped in for the Masters or Teen CrossFit Games or the Arnold, but not in Chicago. I actually had a job opportunity in Chicago when my daughter was like 4 or 5. And my wife was like, if you take that job, you're going alone because my daughter is not getting raised in Chicago. So I decided not to get a divorce and just go ahead and live here in Columbus, Ohio. So anyway, thank you guys for jumping on. A great discussion about Rich and yesterday's announcement. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, good news is we get to keep doing these. Jody, I grew up in Chicago. I think my wife literally grew up on a farm. The high school she went to, there were times where cows would walk down the hallway because they got loose from the farm next door. So take what that experience was like and then say, hey, we're moving to the third largest city in the country. It was more about that. Like, she's used to small town and not big city. And for her, Columbus was a major change. Like, this is a city. My daughter grew up in a city, and it was, even though we're in the suburbs, it's just different. My wife had like 60 people in her graduating class. My daughter had 500. It's just, she just didn't want her to go into a big city and try to figure all that out. Growing up where she was, she would have a hard time figuring that out. My wife still doesn't drive downtown Columbus. Like, it's too much for her. So So yeah, nothing about the actual city of Chicago was the issue. It was the size, and what my wife is used to. But it's about time to get back to work. We've been on here for about 40 minutes. I'm going to go check out those men deadlifting on the strongmen at the Arnold. Again, it was fun to watch that world record and then world record get broke right off the top of the show. So if you didn't see that, go back and check that out. With that, guys, get back to work, you hooligans. This show's over. We'll see you next time on Lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye.